Have you ever wondered what you would do if you had to leave your family behind for a better life? Just imagine, packing up your dreams, your hopes, and boarding a flight to a whole new world. This is the story of Yesenia Jaramillo Sosa, a 39-year-old woman from Antioquia, Colombia who, almost a year ago, made that brave decision. Yesenia was a woman of strength, determination, and resilience. She was a woman of dreams, dreams that were bigger than the borders of her homeland. She was a woman who believed in the promise of a better life, a life that could provide for her loved ones. She left behind her 2 children, a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old, the result of her first marriage. She also left behind her parents and siblings, carrying with her their hopes and dreams as well as her own. The United States, to Yesenia, was not just a country, it was a beacon of opportunity, a promise of a brighter future. It was a place where she could work hard and earn a decent living. She found employment at a laundromat in Prince George County, Maryland. Every day she dedicated herself to her work, with the vision of a better life for her family pushing her forward. But Yesenia was more than just an immigrant. She was more than just a worker in a laundromat. She was a mother, yearning for her children, a daughter missing her parents, a sister longing for her siblings. She was a woman who, despite the distance and the hardship, never lost touch with her family. She called them often, expressing her longing to see them, her need for their presence. Yesenia's story is not just about migration, it's about courage and sacrifice. It's about a woman who dared to dream, who dared to step out of her comfort zone, who dared to believe in the promise of a better life. But most of all, Yesenia's story is a poignant reminder of the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. Yesenia was more than just a migrant. She was a mother, a daughter, a sister, a woman with dreams that were tragically extinguished. What if your pursuit of happiness turned into a nightmare? On the fateful day of March 5th, Yesenia's dreams of a better life were abruptly extinguished. The laundromat in Prince George County, Maryland, where she worked, became the stage for a horrendous act. Her partner, John Marin Morales, a fellow Colombian and a 42-year-old man, transformed from a companion to her alleged killer. This was not a crime that faded into the shadows. The aftermath was as stark and horrifying as the act itself. After allegedly taking Yesenia's life, Morales turned the weapon on himself, attempting to self-inflict injuries with the same knife he'd used on her. It was a desperate act, a chaotic end to a tragic turn of events. Yet he survived. Morales was taken into custody, but not in the cold, impartial environment of a police station. Instead, he found himself confined to a hospital bed, surrounded by the sterile white walls and the rhythmic beep of medical machines. His actions left a lasting scar, not just on his own body but on the lives of those who loved Yesenia. A simple, hard-working woman was no more. Her dreams of providing a better life for herself and her family ended in the very place she had hoped to find them. The echoes of this tragedy reverberated far beyond the confines of the laundromat in Maryland. It reached the ears of her loved ones in Colombia, tearing through the fabric of their lives. The shocking news of Yesenia's death shook them to their core, marking a chilling end to her pursuit of happiness. But the story doesn't end here. The man who was once her partner now awaits his fate, confined within the walls of a hospital. As for Yesenia, her life ended far too soon, but her story continues to unfold, serving as a grim reminder of the violence that women face, even in their pursuit of a better life. In a split second, Yesenia's dreams turned into a horrifying reality. Could you imagine carrying a burden silently to keep your loved ones from worrying? Picture Yesenia Jaramillo Sosa, a woman of strength, resilience, and unyielding spirit. She was a woman who, like many of us, bore her struggles with a silent resolve, a quiet fortitude that was as admirable as it was heart-wrenching. Yesenia was a woman of character, a woman who, despite her hardships, never allowed her struggles to cast a shadow on her family's joy. Her sister-in-law Erica remembers her as a woman of simplicity, a woman of quiet strength, a woman who stayed silent to protect her family from the pain she was enduring. She was a woman who, in the face of adversity, chose to bear her burdens alone. She was a woman who lived thousands of miles away from her family, yet she bore her struggles in silence, choosing not to worry her loved ones with her problems. She was a woman who, despite her struggles, was always thinking of others before herself. But beneath this silent strength, Yesenia was grappling with her own demons. She was in a relationship that was far from perfect. Her partner, a man she had met and built a relationship with, was not what he appeared to be. He was a man who, despite his promises of change, brought her nothing but pain and suffering. He was a man who, blinded by his jealousy, could not see the harm he was causing. Yesenia, in her silent struggle, chose to bear this burden alone. She chose to endure, believing perhaps that she could change him, that things would get better. But sadly, things took a tragic turn. Yesenia's story is a stark reminder of the silent battles many women face every day. It's a reminder that behind every smile, there could be a story of struggle, a story of pain that we may never know. It's a call for us to be more understanding, more compassionate, and more supportive of the women in our lives. Yesenia was a silent warrior, battling her demons alone. Her story is a testament to her strength, her resilience, and her unwavering love for her family. But it's also a call to action, a call for us to stand up against violence, to stand up for women like Yesenia who are silently battling their own struggles. What if your pleas for help were only heard when it was too late? It's a chilling question to ponder, especially when we reflect on Yesenia's story. She was a woman in a foreign land, yearning for the familiarity and comfort of her family. A woman who, despite the physical distance, kept her loved ones close to her heart, reaching out to them and expressing her longing for them. Yesenia's calls to her family were more than just mere expressions of homesickness. They were subtle cries for help, veiled in the normalcy of everyday conversation. It's heart-wrenching to think that her family might have missed these signs, not because they didn't care, but because they were concealed so well. Yesenia, like so many others, was a victim of domestic violence, suffering silently in the shadow of her partner's jealousy. The green-eyed monster, as jealousy is often termed, can be a dangerous beast when it's allowed to roam unchecked. It can drive people to do unthinkable things, as it did in Yesenia's case. She tried to tame this beast, hoping that her partner would change, that he would overcome his jealousy for her sake. But her attempts were in vain, and ultimately cost her life. Domestic violence, a term that is often brushed under the carpet, is an ugly reality that many women face worldwide. It lurks in the corners of their lives, hidden behind closed doors and masked by smiles. It's a silent epidemic, one that often remains unreported and unnoticed until it's too late. Yesenia's story is a grim reminder of this fact. Let's not forget that these victims are not just statistics. They are daughters, mothers, sisters, and friends. They are individuals whose voices are stifled, their cries for help drowned in the noise of everyday life. And sometimes, like Yesenia, they are women who dream of a better life, only to have that dream cruelly snuffed out. Yesenia's silent pleas for help went unanswered until it was too late. Her story compels us to listen more closely, to look beyond the surface, and to act before it's too late, because every cry for help deserves to be heard. How would you react to the news of such a horrendous act against a loved one? The question hangs in the air, heavy with the weight of a reality too cruel to bear. In Antioquia, Colombia, a family is grappling with this very question. The news of Yesenia Jaramillo Sosa's brutal murder in Maryland, United States, has sent shockwaves through her family. A hardworking, simple, and quiet woman, Yesenia had left her homeland almost a year ago, dreaming of better opportunities. But those dreams were cruelly extinguished on a fateful day in March. The initial shock of Yesenia's death was soon followed by a wave of despair. The family, thousands of miles away, felt helpless. Yesenia's children, now 20 and 15, were left motherless. Her parents and siblings mourned a daughter and sister taken too soon, and amidst their grief, a pressing concern emerged. The need to bring Yesenia home. Yesenia's sister-in-law, Erica, voiced their plea. "She left with many illusions towards the other country," Erica said. "She called us a lot. That was that she needed us, that she needed the family, her mother, her children, us, that when were we going to ask for the visa to be able to visit her?" Now the family was fighting not just for justice for Yesenia, but also to repatriate her body. They reached out to the authorities in Antioquia and the Chancellery, urging them to aid in their quest to give Yesenia a dignified burial in her homeland. In their grief, they found strength. They turned to the community for help, creating a cause on the GoFundMe page to raise funds. Their simple request echoed across social media, a testament to their love for Yesenia and their determination to see her home one last time. "My daughter and another brother of my husband are the ones who were talking to the Chancellery," Erica shared. "They asked me for some documents, but there they go, all very slow. I want all those foundations to support us, that justice is done in the United States, that there is no more violence against women." The pain of losing Yesenia was amplified by the struggle to bring her home. What can you do when faced with such a heart-wrenching story? This question echoes in our minds as we grapple with the harrowing tale of Yesenia Jaramillo Sosa, a woman whose life was cut short by the very person she trusted. In the wake of Yesenia's untimely demise, her family is left struggling to cope with the loss and the daunting task of repatriating her body back to her homeland, Colombia. To aid in this endeavor, they've created a page on GoFundMe, a platform that allows individuals around the globe to contribute to causes they believe in. The journey to bring Yesenia back home has been a slow and painstaking process. The family is required to provide a myriad of documents to the Chancellery, navigate through bureaucratic red tape, and raise enough funds to cover the substantial costs of repatriation. Each day that passes is a reminder of the distance between them and their beloved Yesenia. But there's more to this story than just the logistics and legalities. It's about a family seeking closure, a community seeking justice, and a world seeking to end violence against women. Yesenia's family hopes that their GoFundMe page will not only raise the necessary funds, but also raise awareness about the pervasive issue of domestic violence. They are appealing to the collective power of the community, to you, to me, to us. They are asking for our support, not just in terms of donations, but also in terms of spreading the word, sharing Yesenia's story, and demanding justice. Justice for Yesenia means ensuring that her assailant is held accountable for his actions. It means shining a light on the toxic jealousy and control that ended her life. It means acknowledging that what happened to her is not an isolated incident, but part of a larger systemic issue that needs to be addressed. Your contribution can help bring Yesenia home and ensure that her story is not forgotten. It can help her family find some semblance of peace. It can help bring her assailant to justice. And it can help raise awareness about the urgent need to end violence against women. Your contribution, no matter how small, can make a difference. What if we could prevent such tragedies from happening again? Imagine a world where all women, regardless of where they hail from or where they are, can live their dreams without fear. Yesenia Jaramillo Sosa was a woman full of ambition, dreaming of a better life for herself and her family. She was a beacon of strength and resilience, a testament to the spirit of women worldwide. Her story is a stark reminder of the pervasive violence many women face in their everyday lives. It's a harsh reality that we, collectively, need to address. Domestic violence is not a private issue, but a public one that impacts us all. It's time to shift the narrative, and it starts with acknowledging the problem and supporting victims. Justice for Yesenia is not just about one woman. It's about all victims of domestic violence who deserve to see their abusers held accountable. It's about ensuring that every woman's voice is heard, that their stories are not forgotten, and that their lives are valued. We need to create an environment where women feel safe to speak up, where they are believed, and where they can find support. We need to raise awareness about the signs of domestic violence and educate ourselves and others about the resources available for victims. Every one of us has a role to play in this fight. We need to stand up against violence, to challenge the stereotypes that foster it, and to promote respect and equality. Yesenia's family, in their grief, has turned to us, the global community, for support. They've started a cause on the GoFundMe page to raise funds for her repatriation and to push for justice. This is a call to action for each of us. We can contribute, share their cause, or simply raise our voices against violence. Join us in this fight, support the cause on the GoFundMe page, and let's ensure that Yesenia's death is not in vain. Together we can contribute to ending violence against women and make the world a safer place for everyone.